that has her mask on. So just let us know in the chat. I'll be looking at the chat while we're talking. We also have people in here with us. So I'm just going to do a little intro for tonight. My name's Roxana. I'm with Black Mental Health Alliance. I'm so glad that everyone in person and online is with us. We have some people on Zoom as well. So thank you guys for joining us. One of the things that we want to go over tonight is getting ready for our winter self-care, and Miss Eliza is going to be talking with us. But just wanted to let you know, this is the Mind Health Shop Talk, getting how to be okay during the winter break. And I just had a brain freeze on what's the title, Andrea?
How to holiday for your mental health.
How to holiday for your mental health. Yes, getting ready for winter. So a little bit about the Mind Health Shop Talks. Usually we have them every month, the third Tuesday, in different barbershops and beauty salons in Baltimore City. Used to be just West Baltimore. Now it's expanded out. We're at Spiritual Hands today in Baltimore City, but this isn't West Baltimore, right? No, East. Right. So we're expanding out. Lulu, can you get Mr. Leary so he can say a few words and welcome everyone? He has his own live stream going on right now as well. That's pretty cool. Oh my goodness. He's cutting hair. So this is definitely going to be a live session. You guys missed when Miss Eliza was doing her intro. We had some of the guys in the shop talking, but hopefully we can recreate that. Yeah, we're going through. Absolutely. So even let's see who we have in the chat. So did you want to give us a few welcomes? Thank you so much for hosting the Mind Health Shop Talk today. Sure. And I forgot to tell you guys, so we have someone from the South Baltimore Pharmacy that's going to be doing COVID vaccine if anyone's interested. And we have door prizes. I have really cool door prizes that my daughter, assistant, and I went through it. It looks like everyone will get one, actually. So yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So my name is proud owner of Barbershop. I am a part of More Than a Shop. So we are community based, and we reach out to the community, work with Zeke Combs, and we go out in the community to help the community for trauma and the sort of things that's going on in our community. We help our people, our colored people, to stand up and hold their head up and be strong. We have a great clientele to come through. We are based out of going into the community and bringing the lost into the shop to build. We also are a spiritual shop. My wife and myself, and the clients that come here, they're welcome. And we just want to reach out to say, hey, we can do this. I'm also proud position as the president of Hollandtown Business Association. So I help the businesses up here take it to the next level. So we keep the community safe, clean, and also you see it's quiet. We have work with the police department and we do those cop walks, and we're taking our community to the next level. We want to come into your community and help be a partner and a teammate. So you're welcome. 4007 Eastern Avenue. Doors are open anytime. Please make your appointments. And we are just proud to host tonight. Thank you.
Yep, and I don't know if you can see this. Lulu, can you do a 360 kind of so you can see the? This is a very nice atmosphere in here. Like, I don't know how to explain it to you guys. It's very calming. So Mr. Leary's wife is right here as well. Can you wave to everyone? And so with that, I'm sorry, I've stolen some of Miss Eliza Cooper's time. So what I'm going to do is I just want to give a little bio intro of Miss Eliza Cooper. I love the bio that you said. Okay. Eliza Cooper is a daughter, a wife, a mother, natural health educator, a certified herb specialist, peer breastfeeding coach, couples coach, emotional emancipation healing circle facilitator, an ACE interface trainer, a parent leader, and a community anchor. Her mission is to help individuals, families, communities have the information and resources, as well as being able to have the skills to prevent problems before they happen. And how many times do we always see in our society, in our community, in our government that we're kind of reacting to issues? And even with our mental health, I think we don't really try to make a self-care plan until we're broken down and in our nervous breakdown before we do something. So just having that as a community anchor, Eliza has worked with us with 988 when we're trying to get all that information together. And that was one of the things that you told our greater Baltimore, what is it, Baltimore G-Bricks. All of the letters that are in that soup there, but and just how important it was that we just don't start to have support, but just be there and maintain it and really show up for the community. So that was great to have you working with us.
Yeah, it's one of my pet peeves. It's nice to have all this wonderful information, and I work on a national level, and so when I work at national, state, and local level, but on the national level with the feds, they're like 10 years ahead of where we are here locally. Yeah. And so I can go and interact and talk with these people. Oh, it's awesome. They have all this wonderful knowledge and information, and then you come home. Yeah. And it's like, was I in the land of Oz? Where was I? No, it's real. And it was very disturbing to me as a community person to see that and then say, well, how can I bring this to the community? This is information that needs to be in and it used to be, because when I talked to my grandmother, who is now, and she would be over 100 years old if she was alive, common sense. We knew things. And so now when you go out in the community and talk, we don't know things. So do I need to continue with my presentation? So I talked about, but I always like to ask everyone is when you come together with me, that you have love. Come with the attitude of love. And we know now because everybody, well, there's the movement to talk about brain chemistry. So, and this, Andrea said about this place that is very peaceful because they have a lot of the places set up to trigger positive emotions within you. And so when you come in and you look and you read, automatically your brain is going to start de-stressing because it's bringing on that calm. That's something that we have to do in our lives on a regular basis. So I'm going to, how much time do I have? So let me know so I can move along. So I want us to listen, to observe, to value, and have respect, because we're going to have some conversation with our audience. The first question I have is, how does winter make you feel? Can you share with me, how does winter make you feel?
Me?
Yeah, it's
Anyway.
Oh,
yeah. So this is the picture I have. Yeah, if I have my power.
Wait, no, not that picture.
Oh, go ahead. Anyone else? You hate winter?
I like winter. There's something, it definitely is cold, but there's something, almost it feels like the opportunity to reset.
So for me personally, this is why I do this workshop every winter. I do it once or twice because I suffer from something called seasonal affective disorder, and that's when you have the darker days. So we'll have from 7 o'clock to 5 o'clock. That's all the day we have. So I love it when we go from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night. You get the light. So this order affects people, 10 to 20% of the people in this country, mostly women. And so you get sad, you get anxious, you get a loss of interest in activities, you sleep more. And so some of the things that we'll do that doesn't help is like, in the wintertime, I'm gonna go get under the cover, I'm gonna close my blinds, and I'm gonna make it even darker. Well, that's giving us an absence of sunlight, and the sunlight rejuvenates and energizes us. That's where we get our D3 from. Everybody's taking vitamin D3. That's something that's come about like in the past 20 years. when I was young, I don't think we had juice. I was raised in the natural health arena. And so it's like when these things come up, I was like, where did that come from? And I'm finding it's because it's not in what we need to ingest in our daily lives anymore. So some people suffer from a mild form of SAD, which was me. And then when it's cold, you want to hibernate. And I had my prop for you to look at, but I don't know if you can see it. But it's how the brain is impacted by the stress of, having to get warm, having to find a way to, especially for women, I think it's because they care for the family. So then it's not only do you have to find out what to do for yourself during the winter time, it's also that protection you have to do for your family. If your husband's going out for work, you got to make sure he's got what he needs. If you have children, depending on the number of children you have, you got to see to the needs of each one of those. It's just like simple thing as having boots that are warm. I'm trying to show my boots. So I have winter boots, to keep my feet warm, because who wants to go out and have cold feet? And all these things can, for some people, be distressing and depressing and make you not want to deal with anything outside of the home. So I have to ask this, and I'm serious. Do you have a winter self-care plan? Does anybody have a winter self-care plan? You do? Okay. Can we switch the finger out?
I can turn around. I can move around. So in the winter time, it's like you said, to hibernate. I actually just in my mind had two self-care plans.
Okay.
So one of the self-care plans is preservation, because I don't like the cold and I'm also asthmatic. So I don't like to stay out late. That means I more so get to work early and try to leave early, and I basically hibernate. I go home. I don't really like to do any extracurricular activities, even though sometimes I do, but I don't like to. The other plan is that a financial plan, because in the winter you bundle up a lot.
Right.
So if you're bundled up a lot, you don't really need to spend money. So if you take from October until like March, keep what you already have, layer yourself up, don't spend. Go to Walmart early so that you can stockpile your deodorants. You will save so much money from the months of October to March, because you don't need to really look pretty. I mean, you're looking pretty in what you already have, but you don't really need to go out and buy new clothing because you're bundling up. So that's something that I've been spreading for the last 3 years about how to save money on the winter health plan, because it's really not needed, because we are going to definitely layer up.
Yeah. So that's awesome. And so everyone can create what they want for themselves. Because that's one thing that I want to emphasize. Everyone is different, everyone is unique. And what works for you, I'm gonna draw from that. But someone else is like, so don't think that there's any one thing that you have to do. Think about what's gonna make you feel good. Right. I love what you said about that. You just bundle up and you layer. And that's true. It's true. Yeah.
And I think the only thing that I make sure I purpose to go outside or be near windows, because I'm like, when the days go shorter, it's not a good time for me. I like get sad that it's not summertime anymore. So I have like a lamp that my son got me, and that helps a lot. But I also purpose to go.
So she's talking about a day lamp. There's a certain light bulb that you can get that simulates sunshine, and that is one of the things I think about. That's exactly right. So for winter self-care, because we're talking about that hibernation piece and that time for yourself, we want to think about breathing and meditation. So a lot of times people don't think that breathing is really eating, but it is. What we're eating is oxygen. If we don't have the oxygen, and we don't think about it because it's just in the air, but we do need to think about the quality of air that we breathe. grieve, and we need to also think about the way that we grieve. So one of the things I didn't put that on my list of things that I am, but I'm a certified, what you call a certified optimal life breathologist. And so that has to do with science of breathing and teaching people how to optimize the way they breathe. So they're maximizing the oxygen out of the air. They're maximizing the oxygen and how the health that it can give to your body. And just the simple act, and it's free, just the simple act of maximizing your breathing can improve your health tremendously.
You know, it's interesting, as I was listening to her about bundling up and talking about winter, you know, when I see winter as an opportunity, right? If you have a fireplace, you get to cuddle, right? You get to love on your children or your significant other. So I like the thought of winter. To me, it promotes more community. I'm inside, we're playing games, you know, whatever that looks like, right?
Yeah.
And I get to journal a little bit more because I'm less apt to be hanging out.
Yeah.
So I think that, I mean, and all of those things are real, but I just see winter as such an opportunity, you know, like cuddling time. When my son was little, I'm like, come. And now he's 18, we're like, blah. But so I hear you. I just think that I love for us to be thinking about how these seasons do have opportunity.
They do, and so that's one of the things as I move forward, since you said that. When I talk about the breathing and meditations, it's setting your intention to do something in a positive frame. So one of the things you want to do is think about how you're feeling on a daily basis. Think about that, and then think about where you're experiencing stress in your life or in your body, and then think about what you can do to relieve that. You can do that in the moment. So if you're aware of that, so then if it's just simply like just getting somebody to come and cuddle with you, just touch is healing. Appropriate touch is healing. So being able to hug or pat somebody, yes, I say appropriate touch, I have to be clear. It's very helpful. And then if you have an affirmation that when you look at yourself, you know that you need to be shored up in a certain area, then you create an affirmation. And affirmations can be changed daily. They can be something you do on a month basis, a year basis. You know, some people have it. This is the affirmation I've been doing for 5 years. I'm a person that likes to change my affirmation. I like to get in touch with, all right, what's going on here today? So if I'm feeling ugly, it's like, oh no, you're not ugly. You look normal. You look okay. You know, you have to get, and that's the thing with a lot of people, because I was always overweight, even as a child. And children can be cruel to other children. They used to call me fat pig. Not true, but you know, and it's like, am I really a fat pig? No. Was I overweight from overeating? No, I wasn't. So this was just something genetically that has gone on me all my life. And so I had to get in tune with just being comfortable with who I am. And then again, that's why I emphasize uniqueness. What you do, you have to be comfortable with yourself, and you have to come to know yourself, and with intention. Like, I love it. Yes, the cuddle with the babies, the snuggling in the bed, and you know, when it's cold, and those things can uplift you. But have those words that you can give to yourself that can uplift you and inspire you and help you to not stay in a dark place. So one of the ways to do that is by being an optimist. So positive psychology, the new psychology, I would say it's a psychology that's come about in the past 20 years. It tells us that it's different from psychology that comes from a place of healing. So signs of optimism would be you feel that good things will happen in the future. You're not always saying, oh, if I don't do this, this is going to happen. My husband is somewhat of a pessimist, and I'm always saying, no, why are you thinking like that? Because I don't think that way. It just irritates me. You expect things to work out for the best. You feel like you will succeed in the face of life's challenges. Yes, there's a way that can be made. Yes, there is hope. You feel that the future looks bright. you think that even good things can come from negative events. And we've all went through this thing with COVID, and we've come up with some really unique ways of handling it and surviving it, even though we've had some bad things happen. So that's what it is to be positive. Even though bad things happen, there's positive somewhere in the midst. So let's focus on that positive thing and grow that, and that will diminish the negativity that is there. So let's have the life that where the glass is half full rather than half empty. So my next question, everyone, is what music uplifts you? What music? Because music is powerful. Sound. What uplifts you personally?
I prefer, and I get called on this on my job. It's like I like Dua Lipa's video mix. And it's just nothing like Dua Lipa with all her videos, with everybody she made one with, and I give her, oh, you listen to the same music by 15. I'm sorry, you're 15-year-olds in it, but this year I'm focused. You can do whatever. The world be burning on that, and I'm just like,
All right.
it's like moving.
All right.
You know, I'm not a person that like, I believe that when you have a diverse group, you need to be diverse with your music.
Yeah.
And not classic rock and then everybody over here like, okay, what song do I go off of that? Or hip hop, you know, ratchet hip hop, and then like, okay, you know, just a little bit. So I keep it at today's hits, Dua Lipa video mix, maybe a little Bruno Mars video mix, but that's it, and I'm fine with it. I can do whatever.
And so that's a very important element in this self-care piece, because you need to know what makes you happy, what sparks joy within your heart, what helps you relieve stress from your body. This is what's important. And that's different for everybody. It's different for everybody. So I like jazz, do jazz, but I mean, it depends on the mood. I'll play Stevie, I'll play Aretha, I'll play. So my used to go to when I had my children, if I needed to get some energy together, you know who I put on? You know who I put on? James, come on. I feel good. I would put that on, and I'm gonna tell you, my brain, my body, everything would be up and going. So you just find what works for you. All right, and let's see what else. So I'm getting into the what we ingest in our body. Very important to have proper hydration. And so a lot of people don't know what it means to be hydrated. I had so many people tell me, oh, I drink water all the time, but I saw you have a soda. So if you drink that soda, you have to drink an equal amount of water to counter it. That doesn't count towards the hydration. So people are dehydrated and don't know. And I always say this, the first thing that you do is go to the hospital, since you want an IV drip, right? To get you hydrated, and you start feeling better. And it used to be the other thing was an enema to get your toxins out your body. And so those are two things that just really simple to do. They said they used to give you an enema and you would feel better. You would feel better, and they would let you go home. They would let you go home after you would. They would hydrate you, you have your bowel movement, and then you go home. You'll be okay. I mean, I'm not talking about like it's shock trauma, but I'm just talking about with people when I'm not feeling good, you know. It is as simple as that. And so think about what you drink during the winter time. So if you drink cider, that's a juice. The juices are dehydrated. People like them, but they're not bad to drink. It's just you have to do things in balance. So you need to keep track of how much water you drink. You really shouldn't. It's better to eat the fruit, but if you can't get the good fruit, you can drink the juice, but you don't need an abundance of it. You only just need a little bit because juice is concentrated. And so people don't realize that. Coffee, same thing. Coffee is okay to drink, but you don't need to drink an abundance of it. It's like things in moderation. Think about portions and be conscious of what you're drinking, but really be conscious about being hydrated and drinking that water. I know I made an effort about 7 years ago that I said I'm going to make sure that when I'm hydrated, so that when I go to eat, I'm not eating because I'm thirsty. Because that's a lot of times we overeat because our body's asking for, looking for water, and then we're eating thinking our body's saying I'm hungry, and it's not. And it was a revelation because I always thought I was drinking enough water, but when I did that intentional, conscious effort to do that, I found out it's like, wow, I wound up eating way less than I did before, and I was drinking a whole lot more than I was before. And of course, it's according to, well, anyway, I'm not going to get into that right now. That's another thing. So then what's your healthy winter comfort food? So think about that. What's your healthy winter comfort food? Because right now, everybody's into this fast food. I just cringe when I see all the dead food that we eat as a people. And I'm talking about everybody. I mean, people don't cook anymore. I cook every day. My mother cooked every day. I cook every day. I taught my children to cook. And so that's the habit, but that's not the norm out here. And people look, you cook every day. Can I come over your house? If you come over, you get all the cooking.
Every day, something fresh every day.
Every day.
I'll cook on Sunday for a couple days, but every day,
Every day.
you make time for that because
Yes, but it's a lifestyle.
yes.
That's why I tell people,
Yes.
people
That's
ask
why
me,
people eat the fast food.
people ask me how I do that. And I said, it's a lifestyle, you know. So now, at one time, it was doing the box food and the canned food, but now it's literally going out and buying the fast food. So as a natural health person, I know I can't eat all the chemicals and things that are in it because they're doing harm to my body. I had some Chinese food yesterday. And I was just like, why did I do it? Because I don't know if they put MSM in it or something. My body tells me that there's something in here that I have a reaction to. So I'm not going to eat that. It'll be another year before I go back and eat that again. Because, you know, again, it's the other thing that I want to teach you. That if you're going to eat things that aren't healthy, that you know the antidote. When you start feeling bad, what's the antidote to that? So that's eating some live food. That's drinking some water. That's breathe, taking your time and breathing and de-stressing. Maybe taking some supplements or something, depending on what you're eating, especially if you're sugar. Yeah.
I was just gonna say my comfort food for winter is vegetarian chili.
Oh, that's delicious.
And I freeze it, you know, and then we'll take some out.
I was gonna say chili.
What'd you say over there?
So
Okay,
what's
I'm being
your
harassed here.
I'm just like, I have a lot of people in my job that's vegetarians that I just be looking at and I'm like, you ain't get that big old eating this, like, so I don't know why you doing this to yourself.
They like bread.
And then like for Thanksgiving, they sit there and we have a whole turkey, a whole ham, with all the spread on the table, and they looking at, oh, I'll give you some lettuce. You sure you don't want this chicken? Nice. You said that. I just joke with people, but I know everybody, you know, some people can make vegetarian food tasty, and some people just, you know, do whatever they do with it. But I just like to joke people that.
I'm being harassed here at the.
I'm gonna, oh, did you have something?
I know.
That's crazy because my wife doesn't eat meat.
Okay.
So we got to dinner.
Yeah.
It's crazy because we have all salads.
I have one question,
Yeah.
and I might have been late. You said dead food and live food.
Yes.
What's dead food?
Most of what everybody eats today.
Yeah.
So if it's processed in any way,
Yes.
so nutrients need, so if you had a farm and you grow your food, you pick it, the nutrients are live. The minute you put heat to it, the minute you let it go for more than a day and not do something to preserve it, it starts the minute, as soon as you pick your food, it starts losing nutrients because it's no longer attached to the earth. So the ideal is to eat some food from farm to table or from the garden to table. That's going to be your healthiest live food. Then it's a matter of how you treat the food to preserve it. So if you put any heat to it, you're losing nutrients. If you process it. So when we go to the store and buy white bread, it's dead. When we buy those potatoes, you know, French fries, they're dead. Even the meats. then one of the things, and I wasn't gonna say this, but in the stores now they irradiate food. So even the live food is irradiated, and that kills the nutrients. So that's why I tell people I do a raw food diet for 30 days in the summertime, and that's because that's when I go to the farmers market and know that I can get live food.
And for the sake of someone who doesn't know the word irradiated.
Help us.
So irradiation, and you know, this is really hard. I get my husband, who's an engineer, to explain this because for the life of me, I didn't understand it. But this is where all the food is passed through a system that kills all the bacteria and viruses and things, but it kills everything.
So it's like for food safety, but it also like.
And so it didn't used to be, well, anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. So one of the reasons that I know
When people matter.
one of the reasons I found out is you know, apple cider, it used to be refrigerated. And so I started seeing it sitting down on the not refrigerated. And I was like, okay, and I bought some. It doesn't taste right. So then I started asking the people who were selling, you know, who were in the natural health selling it. I said, I'm looking for some real apple cider. I said, where is it? Oh, they can't sell it to you in the stores like that. It has to be irradiated. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So, but you can go to the farm and get it fresh pressed. And I'm like, where am I going to get that conveniently? Anyway, so I don't drink apple cider.
I guess now it has to be
So what I suggest people to do is to pay attention to, we talk about eating live food, the dishes, it's still a food diary.
It's really good. My nephew's today's birthday.
Oh, happy
birthday. Yeah, nice out.
It's nice to meet you.
You too. Be safe on your birthday.
So doing having a food journal, you can write down what you eat and then wait 20 minutes after you eat and just check yourself. I said, I try to get people into checking yourself, but you have to first become in tune to know that, oh, I didn't know that when I started falling asleep, that was after I had just eaten something. So what was it that you ate to bring sort of reaction? Or my stomach started fluttering, or I got a headache, or even a neck ache or something. So it's paying attention to what's going on with your body and what you eat. And then it could be something that makes you feel absolutely wonderful. So that's something you might want to repeat. So, but you have to pay attention to it because you normally will just, blow it off. So what you eat is very important. So we're talking about party food and holiday food. So we just had Thanksgiving. So this year, well, my children are all grown, so it's easier not to, want to have the big meals with all the rich food. But instead of having the Thanksgiving dinner with all the rich foods at one time, we had something one day and something the next day and something the next week, rather than having it all in that one meal, so that we never got that self-loathing feeling that you can get from overeating all these delicious foods that you love. Yeah. So like holiday foods, candy yams. I remember an elder gentleman when I was young, he started baking yams and putting maple syrup on them rather than doing the candy yam. But I was like, I love the candy yam. Now I don't eat them like that. I've lost my sense of wanting that sugar. But that's just over time. That's something that I've intentionally worked towards so that now I don't have those cravings like I did when I was young. So healthy foods I talk about, I tell everybody, you need to, again, hydration, drink enough water every day, breathe, get your oxygen in and get good oxygen, and also optimize the amount you bring into your body because your body cells function off that. Number one, our body is composed of the main ingredients in our body, 96%. No, I'm trying to get the percentage right. But it's hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon. Those are the four main ingredients in our body. So if you look at hydrogen and oxygen, that makes up water. So we need that water because that's what's life giving. Our body is 80% water. it's a percentage, so don't fight me over that, but between 70 and 80% water. And so we need that. Our brain has a lot of water. Our brain also has a lot of cholesterol that people don't know. There's a big thing in the natural health industry about what are the healthy fats. It's not all fats are good for you, but there are some healthy fats. So, and we need them. Our body needs them. Okay, so, and then the other thing is to eat the rainbow. Because those trace elements, the other 26 elements come in minute amount. You don't need huge amounts of them, a trace amount. So you want to eat red food, yellow food, green food, orange food, white food. And they all have different elements for our bodies that we need. And that's on an everyday. So when you look at your plate, you should see the rainbow of colors on it. Yeah.
So my cousin Andre was pretty good a couple weeks ago. Or it's steak.
Rare.
The medium.
Medium. I like the medium.
Medium, because if you get a medium, it's gonna be on the inside.
Yeah.
And you take it home and you haven't finished it, then it'll be that,
Right.
that taste, that color you want earlier.
Right.
Okay. You get it shoe leather, and all you do is just.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you for that. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is scent. What scent of this is? Yeah, but I tell you, I'm in the shop.
That candle is amazing.
Oh, is it a
know.
candle?
I think it's a candle.
So I will say, it was coming from the wife's boy.
Look at her.
Did you know
On
we
camera,
can
it's on
make it your
camera.
But then we have another wife we don't know about.
So, yeah, so this is one of her.
Sounds very good.
So when she's home, she likes it, and I smelled it the other day, and I was like, you know what?
Because it's not perfumey
It's
or it's just like.
What's the fragrance?
I usually do a lot of lavender and this is it in the bottom of it? Would that be like it may say blessed or something like that. Yeah. Oh,
Champagne.
bubbly right there.
Oh, cool.
Bubbly bright berries.
Bubbly bright berries.
It is, it's light.
Yeah.
The light
I
on the
don't like flowers. Flowers trigger sinus
Okay.
issues, so I try to stay with the other oils.
That smokeless candle. Yeah, I can't deal with smoke, so if you can.
And once we start and wash.
Really?
Yeah, I get a chance to wash that, turn it off.
Lemongrass.
lemongrass. is
Make me
good.
happy.
And some eucalyptus if it's not too strong.
So I just now started playing with eucalyptus and lavender, like when I go to sleep. Oh my God. It's so good. I don't know what took me so long.
I also use it in therapy. I did a test on some kids because the lady teacher was having such a hard problem with managing it. So I took one of the makeup little brown piece of really white makeup on, and I put a dab of citrus and a dab of lavender on it, and I smushed it together. And I said, let's just breathe in. And as they breathed in, and then I stuck it underneath their shirt and say, or underneath and say, throughout the day, if you feel a little antsy, you can sniff it or you can feel it and rub it. The teacher said this was the best day that she has had. with
So
her doing it.
the citrus actually does some stimulation in the brain to bring up brain focus. So I have my orange oil in here that I'll use if I feel like, oh, I'm losing my focus. I'll do that. There's several different oils that do that. But you can use aromatherapy or essential oils to create smells that are uplifting and inspiring to you. And everyone is not going to be the same for everybody. So that's okay. It's what works for you. I love pink grapefruit. That one really uplifts me. But I was looking at the home shows, Sell Your Home. So one of the things that they do to get people to want to buy the home is they will put an apple pie in the oven and bake it. They will boil on the stove,
So
cinnamon stick and lemon, and put it in the pot. And so that aroma. So that's something that we can use. It's very powerful. Like I said, when I start feeling that winter, I just, all right, and I did lemon and lavender and peppermint. And it just hit me right up. Peppermint. Oh yeah, but eucalyptus. But you just try different things. But you would have to have. I have a whole lot of different oils, so I get to experiment. So, and like I tell people, there's some basic oils that you can just get to have, and to find the ones that you like and work for you, and just have them. Okay, so the next thing is winter exercise. So this picture, the baby is cold outside. So what are you going to do for winter exercise? How do you change your routine? She bends the elbow.
Broken arm.
She does
I'm
the
just kidding,
elbow
I'm kidding.
bend. And then does it differ from your summer routine? So, okay, so you want, who would like to
I can
share?
walk around my neighborhood in the morning time, get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was up to like 3.2. And I noticed as soon as it got chilly, it's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna get out and walk like 6 o'clock in the morning, it's dark out. It's not the same atmosphere. So you tell yourself to go to the gym. I tell myself I'm gonna go downstairs to the gym in the house.
So I'm in the same boat. I will walk 6, 7 o'clock in the long day. When it gets dark, I'm not going out in the dark walking. And it's cold, I'm not going out in dark and the temperature's dropping and walking. And it's not easy for me to get up out early in the morning and walk. So we gotta change your routine. My daughter has suggested that we go to the water. And when we have a better walk,
The spirit is warm.
and it's and then I asked, how do you combat illness? So I say be prepared with vitamins, minerals. So chicken noodles, I've been telling people with this COVID thing and the flu, see common knowledge when I was coming up, you start getting sick and you don't want to go to the doctor, you make some chicken noodle soup because it has natural penicillin. And I don't think people know that today. So when I say people just look at it, because everything is going to get a pill. No, your body needs nutrients. That's what helps you keep well. So there are herbs that you can take. And herbs are simple stuff like parsley. Then my brain is going to go blank. Thyme, oregano, and all of these. And so I past couple of years, turmeric has become popular. So it talks about the people in India and the masses of people they have there. How do they maintain their health? It's with these herbs and spices that they use, even though they're eating other dead foods. But they're getting the nutrients that they need from these herbs and spices that they grow and use and preserve in a way that, they're not killed. So they can still get some live nutrients. And then the other thing is herbal tea. So if you're thinking you're coming down with the flu or even with the start of COVID, the simple herbal recipe is 1 part mint, 1 part yarrow, and 1 part of elderberry. Yeah. And you do that. So if you do a teaspoon of each of those, then that would be 3 cups of water you would need to teaspoon it. And then you can drink, and you only need to drink a cup a day. That's it, but only if you're coming down with something. You don't want to use it every day. You want to wait until you find it. You have effect. You don't want it to lose its potency because you have it. It's like with echinacea. I remember I'm in the herb. So the echinacea was if you want to get ready for the winter, you would do like 3 weeks of drinking echinacea tea every day, but then you don't drink it again for 3 months because it gets into your body. And so this is the thing about using it. You have to know how to, so you do need to talk to people who know about these things, just like you would go to the doctor and get prescribed things. You just don't take anything or do anything. You should do it with knowledge. So to boost your immune system, the herbs, the vitamins that you need, and some of the minerals are, it's the acronym they used to use with Nathan, that is in increase from that. But zinc, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, and selenium. That's what the zinc is good for. But now they're also recommending that you take magnesium, vitamin K2, CoQ10, and vitamin D3. Now I know CoQ10 became popular about 20 years ago when they were doing the studies on blood pressure. They found that a lot of African Americans who suffered from high blood pressure didn't have the CoQ10 in their system, so that was indicating something. The other thing, this was from a doctor who, when COVID came out, he did the neti pot. That's where you breathe water through your nose on both sides. So you can look that up. Well,
Put it in the rinses. I've seen somebody do that.
yeah, and so I know, and so people who do that, and this particular doctor did it 3 times, but then he did it in the morning, he did it at noon, he did it, he never got sick, he treated all kinds, and never got anything. And I know other people who've done it. I have not, but I know other people who have it. And it has worked. So what I'm gonna ask you to do is for you to create your winter experience. So to create it, you take advantage of sunlight. Go outside at least 15 minutes, and I have to make myself do that. But have you noticed the cloudy days? It's like where's the sun when you go outside? But 15 minutes is daylight. If you can do that every day. And if I don't do it, the days I don't do it, I notice that I'm a little bit more, I would say my sleep is a little bit more depressed. I'm not depressed, but I feel that back. Mm-hmm. And then keep a set schedule. And so that says whether it's during the week or the weekend, try not to sleep as late as usual and try not to go to bed too early. Because when you get in that bed, you're not gonna want to get up. Oh, I can just stay. I know I've been there. I can just stay. But I've trained myself out of that. And then practice mindfulness. You know, do your diaphragmatic breathing. That means when you breathe in, your stomach should go out. And when you breathe out, when you exhale, your stomach should go in. That's diaphragm. It should be your stomach, not your chest. So if you're doing chest breathing, that's called shallow breathing. Your stomach should go out when you breathe in. Breathe in, inhale, your stomach should go out. I know because you're breathing with your chest. So that's when I was doing what they call a breath stop. You teach people how to optimize their breathing and know the difference between the two and intentionally do that diaphragmatic breathing. Other thing is to keep active. So what are some winter sports you can do? If the snow comes, you can go sledding. If you want to go skiing. I actually love shoveling. I love it. I so great. So because it makes you hot. So if you go out and shovel snow, you really need to be careful. Yeah. People go out and overdo it and wind up having a heart attack. Yeah. So you see the first snow? Yeah, I just do it a couple times. I know it sounds crazy. And then I even do my neighbors. Be moderate. How you do it? Don't overdo it. So you want to have some daily physical and social activities that will help you alleviate some of the symptoms of stress. And if it's too cold out, try to find an online workout that you can do at home. I've been seeing a whole lot of these workouts in the chair and in the bed and all that. Some are paid, but some are free. Yeah, there are a lot of free things going on. They have them in the chair if you have joint stuff. Maintain a healthy diet. We talked about that enough. I'm going to move on for the sake of time. And then here's the part. Celebrate what makes you happy. Yes. So you talked about the winter being happy, but this is the time of year when we have the highest rate of suicide. Yes, we do. And so why is that? So if you put stress on yourself, because this is family time, so maybe you don't have family. If you feel like you have to overdo it for the family, you have to spend more money than you need to, or you have to interact with people in your family who you really don't want to interact with, who stress you out, make you want to pull all the hair out of your head. Be in touch with that. Well, sometimes you're in that space, you have to have a plan on how to deal with that. Yeah. Because sometimes you do have to interact with people that you don't necessarily want to interact with because you're going through a family function. And so what do? So you need to have a plan. And this is where asking for help is important. Going to get counseling or coaching or something to help you understand what's going on with you, to understand what things will trigger you, and what things you can put in place to mitigate those triggers. So the other thing you can do is decide that, you know what, I don't want to celebrate like this. And decide what parts of the celebration make you happy, what parts bring you joy. And then maybe you decide I don't even want to do that. You can create your own celebration. This is supposed to be a time of peace and joy to us. And if it's not making you feel that way, then you have the ability to make that change. You can set the intention of what you want to do. And it's amazing when you do that, how freeing it is, and then how you're able to maybe even do some of the things that you didn't like before, because you can do it from a different perspective. So think about that and decide what parts of family traditions you enjoy, which parts you don't. And just create your own, create what uplifts you. And we talked about being optimistic. So optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. That you can achieve what you want. Just set that intention and start taking, like I say, baby steps. You don't have to. You don't have to have something happen immediately. I always tell people they talk to them, have all these wonderful ideas, and then they look at me like, oh, I said, no. Baby steps. We can get there in 5 years. But what are we going to do to start that process? This is the vision, this is the goal. So what can we do to get there? So that's how we have to, it's not going to change overnight. But if you start making those small steps, you start realizing, oh, I can do this, I can do that. And then before you know it, like I've been doing Black Love Day for 7 or 8 years, and it has totally transformed my perception about family and race. I could tell you the story, it's unbelievable. But it didn't happen the first year. It's been over a period of 8 years. And every year, I have to say, it wasn't until the third year that I sit back and I looked at, okay, this is my day of accountability. And I set a love and act, what I call a love and action plan for the year. And what have I accomplished? So that was in year 3 when I finally went back and really looked at it. And that was, my eyes were open, my mouth was, I was like, oh, wow. So ever since then, I make a note of that and I share with people. This is what my journey happened on my journey in having this love and action plan and celebrating. This is what it is. So do things that spark joy in your life. Be it music, scent, food. Yes, you just don't have to overeat. So a lot of people think with the foods, I'm going to talk about that, because we'll say, oh, I can't have, and then you did. So when you get a taste of something, have a taste, so you don't have to eat the whole package of it. You can have one and be satisfied because you haven't repressed that. Because that's a whole nother body reaction. That when you can resist eating certain things, and it can cause you to gain weight because you have what they call a cortisol reaction in the body, and that puts weight on you. And that doesn't have anything to do with eating; it has to do with your body chemistry. So just have visuals that you've done. My daughter in her room she likes plants. She has the plants and the rocks and the candles and the things, and it's her positive emotion space. You go and so everybody uses first space. We all use. Yeah, vision board, plants, flowers, and then for the self-care, do your breathing, your meditation, and your affirmation. And so what I say here is asking for help is a sign. Learning to ask for help. I'm telling you, this past year, I have had to ask for help. In all my years, and being a natural healer and being a positive person, this year has been one really awful, rough year for me. And I have had to ask for help. And so people go, oh, you're so strong. I'm utilizing the skills that I know, and they work. They work. So one of the things I did is I went to grief counseling at Roberta's house. And people were like, oh, I said, no, I know that this is, what happened to me. And I know if I'm going to talk about doing primary prevention, let me delve into what I need to know so that I don't get depressed and get under the bed. Then even you couldn't sweep me out. You couldn't get a vacuum cleaner to pull me out. And so you do it. So asking for help is really is. If you take those measures that you need, if you can even think ahead to have some benefits, to find techniques that's gonna work, if you have triggers. And so, but if you do all of that and you continue to struggle, then ask for the help. And if you see someone who's a friend, who you are loved one, help them. See that they get the help that they need. Like I said, this time of year can be it's stressful for a lot of people, but it's also a time that there can be a lot of joy. So are there any questions? Any comments? And then I was gonna say, save the date. February 1st, a lot of this, and this is part of my journey in studying Black Love Day, was February 1st is a national holiday that was founded in 1947 called National Freedom Day. So I made up my mind this year, I'm doing a celebration on that day. If y'all want to join me, that would be wonderful. Or you can do your own thing on that day. Look it up. But that's the reason that February is Black History. It was a Black History Day, was February 1st. And then February is Black History Month. That's because National Freedom Day was February 1st. And then also February 13th is Black Love Day, and we'll be doing celebrations. This year's the 30th anniversary. We'll be doing events the 10th, and I was going to ask you if you need to do something. Mama Ayo is going to do a 4-day thing from the 10th to the 13th, so we're looking for participants to do something. So I would love to have you do something. Okay, so this back. That's me.
And then I'm gonna share Eliza's information and PowerPoint if you don't mind.
Not this PowerPoint is okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll share it with everyone when you go back to review the video, and also with our newsletter if you're signed up. So for the people here, if you're not on our newsletter, I'll get your email so that you'll have access to that. So like I said, we've got a chance to go to I did the opposite of what you said. I spent a little bit of money today, got some door prizes, so we're gonna give that out. Dr. Carson is here from South Baltimore Pharmacy. I'm gonna get my COVID booster. Yes, no one else is gonna get one because
I'm already boosted.
you're already boosted. Okay, thank you. So one of the things with the pandemic.
When's the last time you got boosted?
What is this? December?
Was it since August?
Yes. See that?
He was trying to get you.
There's a new booster out since August. Everybody's recommending it. They haven't had a shot since August. That's the one you need to get.
Oh, okay. So one of the things with that, I had talked to Dr. Carson earlier, and just we had a couple of people that we lost that had COVID. Not me personally, but we work with our coworkers and stuff, and just making sure that we're washing our hands, using our masks. So now you not only have COVID, but RSV, which was out when our kids were little, but I guess just from people not really doing the right precautions, the little ones and even our older people. So making sure you're getting your vaccine, washing your hands, wearing your mask, staying healthy so we don't end up back in this dark place and not being able to be close to each other and stuff like that. So hopefully you all will have a great holiday. The holidays don't have to be perfect. And also, you had hit everything on the list, just managing your expectations throughout the holiday, and making a plan really for when I feel bad, this is what I'm going to do. So I hope you guys have a great holiday.
Happy New Year.
Yes, I'll say peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.